what I am concerned about is that when you are spending the amount of money you have been spending and government is inflated to the point that it is, what is that going to look like coming in and fixing that?
Yeah.
So like, I know they're saying right now, conservatives are going to cut. It's like, well, I would hope a little bit because there's a whole lot happening here. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that was my thought. It was like, he's going to be the austerity minister or prime minister, because he's going to be inheriting such a hornet's nest and such a gong show. Like, what is he going to even do? Like, he's not going to have the capital to even do anything, because the debt servicing levels are so high right now that it's going to be eating up all of their extra tax dollars just to service the debt. And so I think it's going to be a lot of just trying to undo the Trudeau era policies that have been so detrimental to this country's fiscal policy. So I totally agree with that. It's like, what can he even do? My concern is that I think that people are going to see him come into power. He's going to cut everything everywhere. And they're going to go, yep, exactly what Trudeau said he was going to do. He came in here and cut everything. But I think that it's going to be the only thing that he's going to be able to do in order to keep this country above water. Otherwise, I think our ship is sunk. Because that is the one thing from the Putin interview that I thought was actually accurate, was when he was talking about, he's like, why are you sending money? Why are you sending weapons? Why are you doing all these things in foreign countries? He's like, when your own country is so far indebted that it can't see past its own debt load. And I thought the same thing about Canada. I was like, well, that's us. You know what I mean? Like, why did we just send how many billion over to the Philippines and however many billion to Ukraine, and however many billion to Israel, and then to Palestine as well? Like, you know what I mean? We're just throwing so much money at everybody else. And it's like, dude, do you not see the predicament we're in right now? And so I wonder, like, is there any policies that you're thinking that he'll put through that isn't kind of that austerity kind of policy?
I don't know. I can say that I do know a couple of the people on Pierre's team, and they are brilliant. Two of the people more specifically working on policy are not overly partisan, that they're really well-rounded people.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be some really good stuff come out. Like, even with the Indigenous stuff, I was like, hey, where is it? Like, I'm waiting. And then I saw last week, and I texted Pierre's director of policy, and he's like, this has been a year in the making. And I think right there, though, that's something where we have the Liberals right now that promised a national guaranteed loan program for nations, which was a conservative policy in the 2021 election, because nations are like, hey, we want to participate in resource development, oil and gas, mining, whatever it might be, because it brings wealth to our nations. And the Liberals are like, how about an emissions cap instead? And it's like, okay. But now in their fall economic statement, they promised a national guaranteed loan program. No actual programming. They just promised it. But I think with Pierre coming in, he's going to maybe put that responsibility back on Canadians, that, you know what, there's not any CERB checks anymore. There's not all this extra money flowing. We're not getting grocery rebates. Like, not that that saved anybody anyway, but we're going to make sure there's tax credits for you, bring back the leisure one for kids sports. I pay a ton of money in my kids' extracurriculars. That'd be huge for me. All these boutique benefits aren't helping me as a millennial paying my bills anyway. I'm not getting GST. I'm not getting all these fancy things, and even the child tax credit. When I was a single mom, yes, but now as two working adults, me and my husband get next to nothing. So it's like, people are like, oh, well, he'll take that away. It's like, okay, well, I would just want lower taxes because I'm just out here trying to survive anyway.
Yes, totally. That's exactly what I said. I was like, I'm not getting anything from the child tax credit, and we get no GST. We don't get the grocery rebate. Like, we are not making enough that we're thriving or doing really well, but we're not making so little that we're actually qualifying for these programs. So I'm just like, selfishly, it doesn't matter to me if they all get cut either. But if you lower the taxes and you lower the tax burden on us, like carbon taxes and income taxes and any kind of tax, frankly, like, it's going to help. It's going to put money back into our pockets so that we can afford to do the things that we want to do. We can afford to take our daughter, like, to go to swimming lessons and things like that, like you said, because right now it's painful and it's brutal.